Doug, somebody writes in to ask about how Christ Church thinks through women's ministries. He says, as a new pastor at a church, I have reservations about starting one due to all of the mission and doctrinal creep that I've seen happen in other churches that all started inside the women's ministry. What thoughts do you have?
So the first thing to realize is the problem is not the fact of a women's ministry. Paul's letters are full of thanks to different women who labored with him in the gospel and who. So the issue is not whether you're in favor of women being involved in ministry, but rather how you define ministry. What's the nature of the ministry?
Right.
And so the kind of problems that he's talking about come about when women get together in order to minister to one another face to face, which translates into complaining about their husbands.
Not the most fruitful thing.
We have a very active women's ministry here, but the women are engaged in productive work, shoulder to shoulder.
What's a good example of something like that?
So for example, we have every time a baby is baptized at Christ Church, the Ladies Fellowship has organized the making of baby quilts with the charge that we give to each infant quilted into the corner.
Right.
They made about 20 of them, and then they present the quilt to it's love and good works. It's helping people, meal trains, teaching teenage girls. It's that kind of thing where it's instead of treating women as the needy buckets of the church that need to get together and vent to one another, and then you have to call a women's ministry leader who starts functioning as the pastor of the women, and then you have a church inside of a church, which creates problems, and it creates distrust. It sows suspicion. It's just not a healthy situation. So treat the men and women as equals. They all come to the Lord's Day service. They all listen to the sermon. They all are called to apply it in their respective vocations instead of segregating, and then saying, okay, you're the only ones who understand what's going on, so we'll let you minister to each other. I don't think that's healthy.